What's Sandy Buckaroos? How the heck are you? Been a long day, man. Worked a long day today. I'm tired. I'm old. I'm fat. anyways, anyways, I digress. Let me fix something real fast. If it'll let me today. There we go. That should get us where we want to be. There we go. Anyways, I digress. How the heck are you? I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer. For the purpose of this video, we're going to break it down. We'll find with me the Manhattan Whisperer. Having a Manhattan with you this evening. Haven't made one in a while. For me, it is my favorite cocktail. It really is, but it's kind of more of a fall winter thing. But I was in the mood for one tonight. I do prefer a straight up cocktail to an old fashioned. Typically is served with a big cubes. I've been known to make them straight up, but nevertheless, here's what I got in here. I've got this. Oh, wrong one. I've got this one. Let me show you this one. I've got this. That I worked through my bourbon Rubeness. This is a single barrel bottled in bond from Wood Hat Spirits out of New Florence, Missouri, or near Washington, Missouri. If you're familiar with the area. And that's just not all that far from St. Louis, I suppose. So what I have in here is that particular whiskey, a little bit of sweet vermouth, and a couple of dashes of cherry bitters. Because I wanted to accentuate those cherry bitters. Oh, I'm real tired. I'm really tired. So I'm gonna sound like I'm losing it, man. Oh man, it's been a week. Wednesday, I did a Friends podcast and a chaser with the one and only Jersey Johnny and the Beer Samurai. That's always fun. But I've been able to get my podcast back going again. My schedule's been a little unpredictable lately, so so I didn't want to actively start looking for guests again until I knew I could put a specific day together. So I'm working on doing that. But in the meantime, I'm going to do these, impromptu, sporadic videos because why not? I gave up my day job a few months ago to focus on the side job, which has become the main job. Um, and my health has been better. I'm feeling much better, less stress. I know the heart rate's better. I'm still on high blood pressure medication, but I would really like I need to start taking my blood pressure more because I don't feel like I'm having the same issues as I had before. I don't have that same stress level. So I'm not sure that I need to take the medicine as often as I'm taking it because I needed to take it that often before because the stress level was so high. But now it's not. I'm even the days that I'm tired and I work long days, it is stress level is just not what it used to be. Rod, how are you, man? Sláinte, right back at you, my friend. I hope you're doing all right. You want to talk about what you're drinking? Feel free. If you want to jump on this evening, let me know and I'll send you a link. But I know it's late in your neck of the woods. You're an hour later than me, so imagine you're probably ready for bed. But I just got home a little bit ago. Got home about 10:30, but by the time I got things straightened out and ready, I always hope I can get the videos ready earlier before 11, but it seems like I never can. And I wasn't sure what alcohol I was going to have, to be honest with you. And I thought, Manhattan, all of a sudden just hit me, a Manhattan. So I thought, well, I'll make a Manhattan. That's easy enough. Yeah, you're right, man. I do need to lose some weight. That's obvious, and I've been kind of working on it. Not as much as I should, to be honest with you, but a little bit at a time. Um, but yeah, I know my health is better because I feel better. I need to start checking the blood pressure more often because I'm supposed to take it in the morning and the evenings. But I'll be honest, when I had the other job, I knew I needed it that often, but I'm not sure I need it that often anymore because I'm not really feeling that stress. Because before I could feel my blood pressure going up, right? I could feel it. Well, now, I mean, even rough days aren't rough. You know what I mean? I mean, even busy days, even stressful days really aren't that stressful. So, I feel like I was built for this, man. I waited my whole life to get to this. Oh, mercy. But now that I'm out there working with the public more often and doing a lot of socializing at work, I don't feel the need to socialize on my days off as much as I used to be out on a day off. I feel like I needed to get out and do something. But now my days off, I talk to enough people this way. We're going to stay home and relax. I've had a lot of work friends in the past in some other positions, and I've met some people through work, but I've never had a situation quite like I have now, where you really meet so many genuine friends through work. Oh man, I do like. Sometimes I forget how much I like a Manhattan. I think, oh, it's kind of hot. I'll do an old fashioned of a Manhattan. But for me, an old fashioned, I've had to really play with the old fashioned to get it not as sweet as everybody wants to make it out. I feel like every time I order one out, it's just a little too sweet for me. But when I make it at home, oh man, I can get those proportions right. But the Manhattan's different. Most places will get a Manhattan right. Well, let me walk that back a little bit. It kind of depends on the ingredients they use, right? There's a couple of places I've really had a great Manhattan over the years, and I'm always leery to order a cocktail, to be honest with you. But the Moonrise, a little boutique hotel in the Del Mar Loop in St. Louis, they do a month old and a year old Manhattan, and I tell you what, that is spectacular. Both of them are spectacular. The other place I've had a great Manhattan as well, on the other side of Missouri, in Kansas City, Tomstown. Tomstown does a mean Manhattan, and it kind of has a speakeasy kind of feel. So that's nice. And although this glass looks small, it does. It holds more than you think, because this particular cocktail has 2 ounces of the whiskey and a half ounce of the sweet vermouth. It's a little deceptive, and I've got that dark cherry and a little Amarena cherry sitting at the bottom of the cocktail. Anyways, 'cause I thought about having a martini. I'm not really in a martini kind of mood. It's the end of the evening. For me, the Manhattan is that relaxing drink, right? It's at the end of the night. I'm done with everybody. When I have a Manhattan, I'm done with you all, man. Gonna have a Manhattan and relax, man. And I magically transported to another planet, and here I am. My background changed on me. Anyways, I digress. As I get ready to finish up this Manhattan, I do have one more ready to go to. It's like exactly the same. So sometimes I do two different versions. Now I got exactly the same thing going on. So let me finish this one. I'm going to grab my second Manhattan and we'll continue if anybody else is still out there, man. I jump off camera for a second. I'll be right back, though. Well, okay, I'm back. If you're still with me, if you're not, well, then I'll miss you a little bit. Anyways, I digress. Rod, if you're still out there, if you want to talk about something you're drinking, throw it up there. But it's always good to have you around. I'm gonna be. I was gonna say I was gonna be in your neck of the woods. I just remembered you'd moved, so never mind. No, damn. I don't make a Manhattan for a while because I feel like it's not the season for it. And then I'll make one and say, "Oh, that's why I love this cocktail." But you've got to use ingredients, right? You got to use quality ingredients. There are folks that'll say, "Tom, you don't need top shelf ingredients." Where if you're making a cocktail, and I disagree. Your cocktails only be is only going to be as good as the ingredients you put in it. Do you need to use your very top shelf? No, it kind of depends. I'm a working class guy, so my idea of top shelf might be different than, say, Bill Gates. His top shelf and bottom shelf. His bottom shelf is probably even more top shelf than my top shelf is, but. I'm just saying, use something like the old adage: don't cook with a wine that you wouldn't drink. And it's the same thing with a cocktail. Don't use bottom shelf stuff. This bourbon Rubenesque may not be top shelf to sell, but for me, it's a damn fine single barrel bottled in bond bourbon. And that's all I'm saying is use what's good to you. If it's a bottom shelf bourbon, if it's a bottom shelf whiskey that you would only use on a highball, don't put it in a Manhattan. But use that one you think is mainly a sipper, but then try it in a Manhattan. Go, oh, okay, now I see what he's saying. Now I understand, man. Yeah, your cocktail is only going to be as good as the ingredients you use. Like your food is only going to be as good as the ingredients you use. If you're buying 73-27 beef, yeah, it's going to taste like shit because it's greasy as all hell. But if you get some good 80-20 chuck, it's going to be good. If you buy a USDA select steak, it's probably not going to be very good. But if you buy a USDA private, it's going to be a lot better. Again, it's all in what you're going for. Yeah, I love the Lager Room guys. Those guys are. That show is great. I've known them for. Well, I've known David for several years on social media. I haven't known Josie Johnny quite as long, but I love doing the show with those guys, especially the A and the Chase for show. They're just fun. I love David because David's we kind of joked on the last show he did that. He's the play-by-play guy. I'm the color commentary, right? They use Pat Summerall and John Madden, but in my mind, I was thinking Al Michaels. But yeah, I mean, I like facts. I don't necessarily dislike facts. I just don't want to be the guy that delivers them. I want to be the guy that talks about the other stuff, right? Right. You had, I'm more of a baseball guy than a football guy. So I'm not going to be the one, the guy that, I'm not going to be the guy that says Roberto Clemente's got 3 balls on him. I want to be the one that says 3 balls. That must be uncomfortable. I want to be that other guy. I want to be the color commentator. I want to talk about the stories. I want somebody else to deliver the history about a particular cocktail or whiskey or whatever. I want to talk about experiences behind that cocktail. I want to talk about why that cocktail is special to others and myself. These are the stories I want to tell. Because you got to have that color commentary, and I feel like that's me. I'm not a play-by-play guy. I'm not going to try to be. I don't want to be that play-by-play guy. But David does it so well. David is great about researching the history, but he's not only good about researching the history. It's not about just doing the research. It's about the delivery, and that's what David does extremely well. And I couldn't do that well because that's not my strength. Is my irreverence. My even I don't know what I'm going to say next. That's why I don't want to be the play-by-play guy. I want to be that color commentator. I want to talk about the stories. I want to be Bob Euchre. I want to be Bob Euchre too. No, not gonna. I wasn't going to deliver a name, but that was going to be controversial, so I decided to keep it to myself. Anyways, I digress. Oh mercy. Growing up, though, the best baseball guy in the world was Vince Scully. What was the great thing about Vince Scully was Vince Scully had the rare ability, I mean, the very rare ability to be both the play by play guy and the color commentary. And sometimes at the same time, they usually have 2 guys in the booth, but at some point, Vince Scully was the play by play. Then the roles would switch. He'd become the color commentary. But the truth is, nobody had better baseball stories than Vince Scully. So there were times where he would be both play by play and color commentary all at the same time. He'd be telling you everything that was happening in great detail. Better than Chick Hearn at basketball. I mean, Vince Scully was that good. Then all of a sudden he'd tell you a story about that particular base runner or the guy coming up to bat in the middle of the play by play. You go, damn, how can he do that? The man was a genius, man. There was nobody better than Vince Scully. I know, folks. I live in Springfield, Missouri, so I know folks I hear love Joe Buck, and I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying he was no Vince Scully. I mean, Joe Buck was a legend for what he did, but Vince Scully took everything to a whole other level. And the only people I've ever met in my lifetime that weren't fans of uh, Vince Scully were people from St. Louis, actually, Missourians. Yeah, oh no, we don't like him because he's better than Joe Buck. And then Jack Buck, I told her. Or I'm sorry, I meant Jack Buck. I said Joe Buck, I meant Jack Buck. Sorry about that. Joe Buck is an asshole. Jack Buck was a legend. Getting my J's confused. But anyways, the bottom line, Jack Buck was great. I mean, he's a legend. I'm not saying he wasn't, but Vince Scully just did things a very specific way. Growing up in Southern California, watching the Dodgers on KTTV Channel 11. Yeah, it was different. It was almost as much as baseball has changed, right? Uh, Baseball used to have Well, you get starting pitching, right? And you were expected to go 9 innings, and you had a relief pitcher that might come in for a little bit, but then the roles changed, right? Now you have middle relief. You have middle relief, and then you have closers. The closers is expected to come in and throw maybe 3 outs at the most, and his work is done. But back in the day, every pitcher was expected to go 9 innings. And I felt like it was the same for announcers back then too. Harry Carey, Jack Buck, Ben Scully. They did both, play by play and he did both play by play and color commentary. Is this not something you see now? But it was interesting. I just remember, Vince Scully was so great about telling you exactly what was happening on the field, and if there was a moment of silence, if the pitcher stepped off the mound or the batter backed out of the box, he had a story. He could fill that gap, and to have that ability to do that at will is just amazing because he'd been around so long. He had a story for everything. So he was telling you it's 3-2, 2 outs, so and so is up to bat. He just stepped out of the box. When so and so was 18, he had a job doing this. That was the Vince Scully thing. He could just do everything, man. There was nobody better in the game than Vince Scully, in my particular opinion. And I don't have an issue with Jack Buck. I think Jack Buck was great. Harry Carey, I got to be honest with you. I don't think Harry Carey was even remotely good. I will tell you that my experience watching Harry Carey was mostly in the 90s when he was probably soused all the time. But he wasn't great at play-by-play or color commentary. He was a character. He was a natural character, and he was funny. But he wasn't a great play-by-play guy, or was he good at color commentary? Jack Buck was a true professional. But neither could hold a candle, in my particular opinion, to the late great Vince Scully. Vince Scully was the best there ever was, the best there ever will be. They're not going to get close again. Just like as far as players go, I mean, you're not going to find pitchers like there were back then because they don't have to be. Pitchers aren't expected to have complete games now, so you're not going to see as many complete games. Middle relief, closers. I mean, the whole game has changed. And not for the better, in my opinion. I don't like it, man. I don't like it at all. I don't like the DH rule. I think it sucks. I think it takes all the strategy out of baseball. I don't like interleague play because that's what you had to. Again, it just everything they've done to try to draw fans in, I think, has alienated all of us older fans because now the whole game sucks. The DH sucks. There's nothing positive about the DH rule. It took all the strategy out of it. They took a game of chess and turned it into checkers. They created the game. They changed the game to everybody out there with ADHD. For everybody with a very short fucking attention span. Hey, here's baseball for you now. You weren't smart enough to understand it before, so we're going to dumb it down for you, and that's what they've done. And we're gonna make it really stupid for you. We're gonna slow the game down as much as humanly possible. We're gonna put a DH in there. Pitchers won't have to. So there's no more strategy in baseball. Anyways, I digress. I better stop now before I alienate any more people. Bottom line, though, Vince Scully was the best there ever was. The DH rule is for those that just don't understand baseball. And baseball today is for those with short attention spans. I am the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. The point is, I mean, I just remember when baseball was serious, when baseball meant something. And it seems like baseball's tried so hard to just be relevant again. They've made themselves even more irrelevant. Anyways, one more time. Da, 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 da. Aroga guy, Slancha.